Keanu Reeves had always carried his fame lightly, like a coat he could remove when he needed silence, after months of exhausting filming schedules, flashing cameras, and relentless interviews. He longed for somewhere the world would not ask anything from him. That place, he hoped, would be Thailand. Phuket welcomed him with a golden sunset that painted the sky in soft shades of amber and rose. The ocean stretched endlessly, calm and forgiving, as if it had no memory of storms. For the first time in weeks, Keanu felt his shoulders loosen. No red carpets, no microphones, just warm air scented with salt and distant street food spices. He kept his arrival quiet. A private villa tucked away near the beach gave him the privacy he cherished. In the mornings, he walked barefoot along the shore, letting the waves fold around his feet. Sometimes locals recognized him, but their smiles were gentle, respectful. No chaos, no shouting, just kindness. In the evenings, he explored small night markets glowing with lantern light. Vendors laughed, children ran between stalls, and music hummed softly in the background. For a brief moment, he felt anonymous, not a global star, just a traveler absorbing a new culture. But peace can be fragile. The first sign was subtle. While browsing handcrafted bracelets at a market stall, he felt a gaze lingering too long. Across the walkway stood a man half hidden behind a food cart, watching him. Not curious, not excited, just observing. When their eyes met, the stranger quickly turned away. Keanu brushed it off. Fame often brought attention. He had learned not to overthink it. Later that night, the air felt heavier. The villa, which had felt serene hours earlier, now seemed too quiet. He poured himself tea and stepped onto the balcony, listening to waves break under the moonlight. That's when he noticed something near the door. An envelope. Plain. Unmarked. It hadn't been there before. A chill crept across his skin despite the warm tropical air. He picked it up slowly, studying it under the soft lamplight. No name. No address. Just his presence acknowledged without words. Inside were photographs. His heartbeat slowed, not from panic, but from a deep, controlled focus. Years in the spotlight had taught him to remain calm under pressure. But this felt different, personal. A folded note slipped from the envelope and landed at his feet. For simple words, "We need to talk." Below it, another line written in darker ink. "Or the world will." The ocean outside still moved peacefully, unaware of the tension tightening inside the villa. The paradise he had chosen for healing suddenly felt like a stage set for something far darker. Keanu stood still for a long moment, staring at the photographs. This wasn't admiration. It wasn't coincidence. It was intentional. And whoever sent this message wanted him to know they were watching. The calm escape had ended. The storm hadn't arrived yet, but he could feel it building. The message included a location and a time. A small seaside cafe on the edge of Phuket. Midnight. Keanu Reeves did not panic. Panic clouds judgment. Instead, he spent the evening thinking, analyzing the photos, the angles, the timing. Whoever was behind this had followed him carefully. This wasn't random. It was planned. The cafe sat at the far end of the beach, nearly empty at that hour. A single yellow bulb flickered above the entrance. Waves crashed softly against wooden stilts beneath the structure, creating a steady rhythm that contrasted with the tension tightening in his chest. He arrived alone. No security. No public scene. Inside, only one table was occupied. The same man from the night market. He sat casually, stirring a drink as if this were a friendly meeting. His posture was relaxed, but his eyes were sharp, calculating. "Mr. Reeves," the man said smoothly, "thank you for coming." Keanu didn't sit immediately. He studied him. Ordinary clothes. Neutral expression. A face designed to blend into crowds. The kind of person you forget seconds after seeing. "What do you want?" Keanu asked calmly. The man slid a tablet across the table. On the screen were images and short video clips, carefully edited fragments. Some real, some distorted. Conversations spliced together. Shadows manipulated. Context removed. The implication was clear. A narrative could be built from this. A dangerous one. "I've prepared a story," the man continued. "And in today's world, stories spread faster than truth." Keanu finally sat down. "How much?" he asked. The man smiled faintly, as if pleased that the conversation had reached its expected point. A number appeared on the tablet screen. Massive. Unreasonable. He had survived grief. Personal loss. Years of speculation about his private life. But this was different. This was calculated character destruction. The blackmailer wasn't threatening scandal. He was threatening identity. The man tapped the tablet again. A mock headline filled the screen, dramatic, accusatory, designed to ignite outrage. People believe what fits the drama, he said softly. And you, Mr. Reeves, you're too quiet to fight back. That sentence lingered. Too quiet. The assumption that silence meant weakness. Keanu finally spoke, his voice steady. You don't know me. The blackmailer's smile faded slightly. Just slightly. Everyone has something to lose, he replied. Your reputation. Your peace. Your legacy? The ocean wind picked up outside, rattling the cafe windows. A storm was approaching. The man stood, sliding a small card across the table. You have 48 hours. Then he walked into the darkness. Disappearing along the shoreline as if swallowed by the night, Keanu remained seated for a long moment, listening to the waves grow louder. 48 hours. The peaceful escape was over. This wasn't just a threat. It was a countdown. The countdown began the moment the blackmailer disappeared into the darkness. Keanu Reeves returned to his villa, but the place no longer felt like a sanctuary. The once soothing sound of the ocean now seemed restless, as if echoing the unease building inside him. The air felt heavier, charged. By morning, the psychological pressure started. His phone vibrated. Anonymous messages. No names, no numbers. Just screenshots. A blurred headline draft. A short edited clip carefully cut to remove context. A caption typed beneath it. This will go viral. Keanu stared at the screen without reacting outwardly. Years in the public I had trained him to understand one truth. Perception spreads faster than facts, and once the narrative takes hold, it becomes almost impossible to erase. Another message appeared, a link to a private social media account. The account had only one post, a countdown timer. 47 hours, 12 minutes, and 33 seconds. Hours, minutes, seconds. The blackmailer wasn't just demanding money. He was creating suspense, manufacturing inevitability. By afternoon, subtle online whispers began surfacing. Anonymous accounts hinting at an upcoming expose, vague statements, suggestive language. Nothing direct yet, but enough to plant seeds. Keanu placed the phone down slowly and stepped onto the balcony. Dark clouds gathered over the Andaman Sea, rolling in with quiet threat. The wind picked up, bending palm trees along the shoreline. Storms don't ask permission. They arrive when they choose. He leaned against the railing, eyes fixed on the horizon. His life had not been untouched by hardship. He had known deep personal loss. He had endured public speculation. Through it all, he had survived by remaining grounded, quiet strength over loud defense. But this attack felt surgical. The blackmailer had researched him, understood him. The next message confirmed it. A single line. You've lost before. Don't lose again? That was different. That wasn't about reputation. That was emotional manipulation. A direct strike at old wounds. For the first time since the envelope arrived, Keanu closed his eyes and exhaled slowly. Not from fear, but from recognition. The strategy was clear. The goal wasn't only money. It was control. Control through doubt. Control through memory. A preview of the article, carefully crafted lies mixed with selective truths, designed not to prove guilt, but to imply it. And implication is powerful. Keanu picked up the phone one last time and typed a short reply to the anonymous number. You're mistaken? 3 dots appeared instantly. Typing. Then the response came. 40 hours. The storm outside intensified, lightning tearing across the sky. But something shifted inside him. Pressure can break a person, or clarify them. As rain slammed against the glass and wind howled across the ocean, Keanu realized one thing with absolute certainty. He would not negotiate with fear. The countdown continued, but so did his resolve. The storm lasted through the night. By morning, the skies over Phuket were washed in pale gray. the ocean calmer but still unsettled, like the aftermath of something unresolved. Keanu Reeves had not slept much. Instead, he had spent hours thinking clearly, separating emotion from strategy. Fear was exactly what the blackmailer expected. Silence was what he was counting on. But silence could also be a choice, and this time it would not be surrender. The countdown clock now read 23 hours, 14 minutes, and 9 seconds. Another message arrived. A blurred screenshot of a major entertainment news website template, pre-written and ready to publish. The headline was bold, provocative, designed to explode across social media within minutes. The manipulation was obvious, but the impact would still be real. Keanu placed the phone down and made a decision. Instead of transferring money, instead of responding emotionally, he contacted a trusted international legal advisor. Calm voice, direct explanation, evidence forwarded, screenshots saved, timeline documented. Within hours, local Thai authorities were discreetly informed. This would not become a public spectacle. It would become an investigation. The blackmailer, confident and impatient, sent another instruction. A final meeting location to settle. Everything. A deserted pier. Outside the main tourist area, sunset. Classic. Dramatic. The air was still, quiet, almost deceptively peaceful. The man stepped out from behind a fishing shack, carrying a small bag, expecting payment. You made the right choice, he said smoothly, approaching with a confident smile. Keanu said nothing. In the distance, faint but unmistakable, another sound approached. Vehicles. The blackmailer's expression flickered, just slightly. What did you do? He asked. Keanu's voice was steady. I chose not to be afraid. Within moments, officers emerged from both ends of the pier. Calm, controlled, prepared, the blackmailer froze, calculating escape routes that no longer existed. The bag dropped from his hand. Inside weren't just devices containing manipulated files, but drafts of fabricated stories. Multiple versions ready to target different audiences. A manufactured scandal factory. As officers secured him, the man's confidence dissolved. You could have paid, he muttered bitterly. It would have been easier. Keanu looked at him, not with anger, but with something quieter. Easy isn't always right. The sky behind them glowed in deep orange and fading blue. The storm fully passed. The ocean, once violent, now reflected calm light. The countdown ended, but not the way the blackmailer expected. For the first time since the envelope appeared, Keanu felt something steady return, not peace, not yet, but clarity. He had been tested, not just publicly, but emotionally, and he had refused to let someone else control his story. As authorities led the blackmailer away, the wind shifted gently across the pier. The storm had tried to define him. Instead, it revealed him. The morning after the arrest, Phuket felt different. The sky was clear, not dramatically bright, not overly cinematic, just honest. The ocean rolled in gentle waves as if nothing had happened. But something had changed. Keanu Reeves stood barefoot on the beach once more, the sand cool beneath his feet. The same shoreline that had once symbolized escape now felt like a reminder. You cannot outrun confrontation. You can only face it. News of the attempted blackmail had begun surfacing, but not in the explosive way the blackmailer had intended. Instead of scandal headlines, reports focused on the arrest of a cyber extortionist, targeting high-profile individuals. The fabricated material had been seized before publication. The damage had been stopped before it started. But Keanu knew something important. The true battle had not been legal. It had been internal. Later that day, at a small press briefing organized with Thai authorities, he chose to speak briefly. No dramatic speech, no anger, no victim narrative, just honesty. There was an attempt to manipulate and intimidate, he said calmly. Fear can be powerful, but it only wins if we let it silence us. The room was quiet. Cameras flashed, but softly. He didn't go into detail about the messages that targeted his past, or the emotional tactics designed to reopen old wounds. Some battles are not meant for public dissection, but he did say something that lingered long after the microphones lowered. Privacy is not secrecy, and vulnerability is not weakness. Those words spread faster than any rumor could have. Social media, which had briefly hinted at mystery, now shifted toward support. Fans praised his composure. Commentators noted his refusal to escalate or dramatize the situation, and that was the difference. The blackmailer had wanted chaos. Keanu responded with clarity. That evening, before leaving Thailand, he returned to the beach one final time. The sunset was softer than his first night, less dramatic, more grounded. Fishing boats dotted the horizon. The world moved forward as it always does. He reflected on something simple. Peace isn't the absence of storms. It's the decision to stand still while they pass. The trip that began as an escape had transformed into something else. A reminder that reputation can be threatened, narratives can be twisted, and fear can be manufactured. But integrity cannot be bought. As the last light dipped below the horizon, he turned away from the water and walked slowly back toward the villa. Not hurried, not shaken. Stronger, the storm had tried to define his story. Instead, it became a chapter of resilience. And somewhere beyond the quiet shoreline of Thailand, the world continued, unaware of how close it had come to believing a lie. But truth, when faced head-on, doesn't need to shout. It simply stands.